Let's start with the law of diminishing marginal utility. In the last lecture, we have studied the relationship between TU and MU. Then we have seen the comparison also, total utility and marginal utility. This law is completely based on those concepts which we have discussed in the last lecture. Students, please go through that lecture, then only you will be able to understand this concept, law of DMU. We are starting with your first law, that is law of DMU. It stands for diminishing marginal utility. Even though the concepts, after reading this, you may find difficult what it is, but remember, in day-to-day life, we come across this law. All of us come across many times with this law. How? I will explain you in very simple manner. See, when you have go out and you are very thirsty. At that time, first glass of water, when you drink first glass of water, it gives you more satisfaction. Then second, compared to first, less satisfaction. Likewise, in successive unit, your satisfaction level goes down, and that is called DMU, diminishing marginal utility. Marginal utility, I have already explained you. Marginal means last unit. With the consumption of last unit, or additional unit, your utility starts diminishing. That only we have to prove. For that, we have to cover introduction part, then what is exactly the statement is, then schedule and explanation, graph and explanation, what are the assumptions. See, what is assumption? Assumption means nothing but whenever you want to prove something, you have to assume few things, that this condition should be there, then and then only I am able to prove my law. These are assumptions, and exceptions are those which are not applicable to that law. We are going to cover all this point. Now let's begin with introduction part. Now, law of DMU, diminishing marginal utility. One more example I will give you. Suppose you are very hungry and something has been offered to you to eat. Then whatever you eat, the first plate gives you more satisfaction. Then second, less. Then third, less. Likewise, after certain point, you will find that your hunger has been fulfilled properly, and you stop at that time, you stop eating. And even though at that point also you start eating, then you will feel vomiting. There your disutility starts. This only we are going to study here. Now see, in the introduction, what is the introduction of this law? This law has been introduced for the first time by Mr. Gusson. That's why it is also called as Gusson's first law. Remember this name in introduction. If you write his name, it will show good impression. Who has introduced? Mr. Gusson. Initially he has introduced, that's why the law is also called as Gusson's first law. And this has been explained further by Professor Alfred Marshall. Remember this economist's name in your textbook for microeconomics. His contribution is more. You have to remember this book also. His book is Principles of Economics, published in 1890. For introduction part, you have to write, in maximum answers you have to give this reference, that is Professor Alfred Marshall. His famous book is Principles of Economics, which were published in 1890. And this law explains you about the economic behavior of rational consumer. Now, who is a rational consumer? What is rational consumer? Rational consumer means the consumer who is interested maximum satisfaction with minimum input. So, rational, the drunkard person is not a rational person, he is called irrational person because his state of mind is not in a rational position to take the decisions. So, rational person means who wants to get maximum satisfaction. The person who is interested to get maximum satisfaction. So, again I am repeating this introduction part. This law has been introduced by Mr. Gussen. That's why this law is also called as Gussen's first law. This was further explained by Professor Alfred Marshall in his famous book Principles of Economics, published in 1890. This law tells us about economic behavior of rational consumer. We are done with the introduction part. Now let's see the statement. In the textbook, they have given you the statement. Normally, remember, whenever the statement has been given, you have to write it as it is. Don't write in your own words. For this law, the statement is quite confusing. So again, in simple word also they have given. I am reading it. According to Professor Alfred Marshall, other things being constant. Other things means whatever these assumptions are there, that remain constant. The additional benefit, because we are discussing about marginal utility. That's why the additional benefit which a person derives from the increase in the stock of a thing diminishes with every increase in the stock that he already has. The statement is quite big and confusing, but remember you have to by heart it. In simple words, they have given the law explains that mu goes on diminishing with an increase in successive. Your successive word is more important. In last lecture also, I have explained you successive means without gap, without time interval, then only you are able to study. So successive means continuously, continuity should be there. In short, the more of the things you have, less you want to have more of it. Now let's see the schedule part. Next is introduction part is over, statement is over. Now schedule and its explanation. In the last lecture also we have seen one schedule, but that schedule contains TU also, MU also. Now remember, we are studying the law of DMU, diminishing marginal utility. So remember, you have to draw, you have to write only about MU. Don't get confused. Don't write anything about TU. Normally students, what they do, if the question has been asked, write the law of DMU. At that time, they clearly write over here relationship between TU and MU. They start writing about that comparison and all. Remember, this is law of DMU. You are going to talk about only, you are going to concentrate only about diminishing marginal utility. So in this table, don't talk about TU. Same way, on the basis of this, I will draw the diagram. And in the diagram, don't show TU. If you show the TU, if you write about TU, then it will say that you are writing, you are telling about relationship, and we are not studying relationship. Here we are studying the law of DMU. Now again, whatever we have assumed in comparison, same thing. 7 units we are going to consume. For last unit, what I told you, right? -2, then 0, then 2 table, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Don't write anything about total utility. Okay. Now same thing. negative quadrant. Remember this, when you join all this, this is called RMU, which is downward sloping. You have to explain it. Remember one thing, every time what students do, they just make this schedule, they just draw this diagram, but they don't give the explanation. There are marks for the explanation also, and here this also you have to explain, this also you have to explain. Here while explaining, remember one thing, right? X-axis represents what, Y-axis represents what, and slope of the curve. These things should be there in your explanation. So here what I will say, x-axis represent units of commodity, y-axis represent marginal utility, mu slopes downward. These things should be there. Then only, again here you will say, here it's point of sanctity and all these things. You can write about it, because even though it's part of total utility, but in the explanation you can tell them that here the maximum satisfaction is there. In which unit? 6th, where mu is 0. Let's see in textbook what they have given. See explanation, same. X-axis measures, y-axis measures various points, then mu curve slopes downward. These 3 points they have covered. They have talked about the disutility, negative, mu is negative. And write about this also, point of sanctity, where mu is 0. Okay, now let's see the assumption part. This part is over, my schedule is over, my graph is over, my explanation is done. Now the assumption. Friends, do you remember we have written in the statement other things being constant? What these other things? Other things are nothing but these assumptions. What are they? For example, I want to prove my law. Suppose the person is very tired and he is very thirsty. He wants to drink water. At that time, or if I have offered him, if it's too hot outside, if it's somewhere it's too hot outside, he has done a lot of work and he is very tired and he wants to eat the ice cream, then let's see how it will work. See, the rationality. Rationality means what? The person should be rational. Suppose I am checking whether this law, how this law works. I have selected one person. That person should be rational. Rational means he should not be a drunkard person. Okay, so he should be rational person. Rational means his aim should be to get maximum satisfaction. It's not like कि चलो मैं पैसे दे रही हूँ इसलिए चलो और खाएंगे. It's not like that. The person should think about himself. कि मैंने ज़्यादा खाया तो कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए. That's why his aim should get maximum satisfaction. Second, I have already explained you in features we have seen utility cannot be measured in numbers. What is cardinal? Cardinal means in numbers, and ordinal means in words. For example, I'm happy, I like this flavor, or it gives more satisfaction, it gives less satisfaction. In this way I can express the utility. For example, if I ate one mango and the mango is very nice, sweet, tasty, I can say that yes, I'm happy, I'm satisfied. Likewise we express it. So utility cannot be measured in numbers. That we have studied in features of utility. But in just for the sake of proving this law, I am going to assume that utility can be measured in numbers. Remember this. What I am saying, in features we have studied that utility cannot be measured. For example, if, do we say that 10 utility. After drinking second glass, I got 5 utility. We never say like that. So utility cannot be measured. But just for the sake of this law, just to prove my law, we are going to assume that it can be measured in numbers. So our second assumption say that utility can be measured in numbers. Cardinal means in numbers. Next is homogeneity. Homogeneity means what? Now I told you we are going to prove the ice cream. Suppose the person wants to eat the ice cream, he is very tired, he came from outside, it's very sunny, it's very hot outside, and he came at home and he wants to eat the ice cream. Now homogeneity means what? Homogeneity means size, shape, color should be same. For example, 10 cups of ice cream are there. Here, when he, after coming from outside, when he consume first cup, it will give more satisfaction, then second, third. But remember, for proving this law, if suppose I have taken vanilla flavor, then all 10 cups should be of vanilla flavor. They should be of same size, shape, color, same company. There should not be any difference. Suddenly chocolate flavor, suddenly butterscotch, it should not be like that. Otherwise, you are not able to prove that law. How? For example, he ate first chocolate ice cream, second strawberry ice cream, third vanilla. Suppose he liked vanilla ice cream very much, then first level will not give him more satisfaction. Suddenly third level will give him more satisfaction. So it will be like this. And this is wrong. Our law says that mu starts falling, mu starts downward slope, mu slopes downward. So this will not be applicable. That's why we say that there should be homogeneity in size, shape, color. Same is applicable. Suppose the person is going to eat mangoes one by one in successive unit without gap. Suppose the first mango is very hungry, he is very eager to eat the mango, and after eating first mango, the mango's quality or taste is not tasty. So maybe second also the same, so he is not getting the satisfaction. And suddenly third and fourth unit, he got the best mango, very sweet mango, tasty mango, then his satisfaction level will go high. This should not be happen. That's why the law says that whatever you are going to consume, it should be homogeneous, means same in size, shape, color. Next is continuity. In the law itself, we have studied that successive unit. What is successive unit? Without gap, without time gap, without interval, you are going to eat or drink particular product continuously. So you have to follow this continuity. The law assumes that there should be continuity. Next is reasonability. Now what is this reasonability? Reasonability means when I say I want tea, normally what comes in our mind? Tea means small cup comes in our mind. It's not like tea means we don't drink in bucket, we don't take bucket and start drinking bucket full of tea. So there is some reasonability is there. Whatever. For example, when you start eating, the quantity of salt or the quantity of vegetables, quantity of rice, you know how much you can serve it. Like salt in your serving plate, you never put salt like this. We put salt little bit. Then for rice or chapatis, we have some reasonability, some what we can say, some measurement is there. When you say I want water, we offer it in a glass or in a bottle and we drink in that proportion. So reasonability should be there. Then constancy. Constancy means suppose I am drinking cold drinks and if suppose I am liking the Maaza, then constancy should be there. After drinking first, second, suddenly I should not start drinking another flavor. So there should be constancy. Same in likes, habits, income, everything should be constant while proving that law. Then we have divisibility. Divisibility means what? The law assumes that commodity consumed by the consumer is divisible so that it can be acquired in small quantity. Division should be there. It should be there should be possibility that you can divide the product or commodity. Then single bond. For example, you are checking the MU, marginal utility of water. Then all 10 glasses of water should be filled with the water, and that water should be used for drinking only. It should not be like first glass I drank, second glass I have thrown it, third glass I have put it in, planted, I have watered the plant. It should not be like that. You have to use it for the single use only, single bond only. We are done with the assumption part. Now the last part, exceptions. The first part is hobbies. Now remember, what are the exceptions? Assumptions are what? While proving any law, I have to assume few things. Those are assumptions. And what are the exceptions? Exceptions means these things are not applicable. For these things, law is not applicable. These are the exceptions to the law. So let's see the first, hobbies. For example, stamp collection or reading is your hobby, or listening to music is your hobby. Whenever suppose listening to reading books is your hobby, whenever books are adding in your shelf or in your or you are starting, you are getting more and more books, you will be happy. So hobbies are the exception. So here you cannot say that no, I don't want anything, or I am satisfied, I don't want another book now. So in case of hobbies, this law is not applicable. See, certain hobbies, collection of stamps, coins, rare painting, the law does not hold true because every additional increase in the stock gives more pleasure. Whatever the addition is there, that gives you more pleasure. Next is miser. Miser means he is the irrational person. Miser means conjuice. In the case of miser, every additional rupee gives him more and more satisfaction. Marginal utility of money tends to increase with an increase in stock of money. Whenever stock of money increases, it gives him more satisfaction. However, this situation ignores the assumption of rationality. That's why this is also exception. Next, addiction. Miser means conjuice persons. Addictions. What are the addictions? Addictions are nothing but the habits. Drunkard. Take the example of drunkard. When he drinks first glass, he gets satisfaction, second more, third more. So we are saying that it reduces or it falls. But in this case, the drunkard person gets more and more satisfaction, because we know that the drunkard is irrational person. He is not in state of mind to understand. His state of mind is not normal. When he starts drinking more and more, he starts enjoying. That's why, even though it has side effect to his body. So addictions, some habits are there. They are not applicable to this law. Then power, money and power. See, these two things are like that. People run after that. Power and money are things like that. They want more power, or they want more money. So these are, they never say that, okay, now the money, enough, I am having enough money, I don't want. Or power, same, no, a lot of power is there, I don't want. So this is exception to the law of power, because when a person acquires power, his lust for power increases. He desires to have more and more of it. However, this again violates the rationality. And last one is money. It is said that MU of money never becomes zero. you get more and more satisfaction. So it's not applicable. This law is not applicable in case of money too. Marginal utility of money is more to poor person than to rich person. We have finished with the introduction statement part. Then we have studied the schedule explanation, diagram explanation. See, in diagram curve every time we have to cover these 3 points. X-axis indicates what, y-axis indicates what, and MU curve or whichever curve is there that slopes downward, upward. You have to cover these 3 points. Then we have seen the assumptions part and exceptions. Again I am telling you, relationship between TU and MU question is totally different. There we have drawn TU table also, we have drawn TU curve also, but this is the law of DMU, diminishing marginal utility. So we are going to talk, we are going to concentrate on how marginal utility diminishes, diminishing marginal utility. The name itself says, so don't get confused. Only write in the schedule, draw only MU curve, assumptions